After posting the journal entries to the general ledger, the next step in the accounting cycle is to prepare the trial balance. This is our general ledger after posting all the journal entries in the general journal, and assume that we are on December 31st, so let's prepare a trial balance. This is the heading of the trial balance. Then we have columns for account code, name, and account balances, whether debit or credit balances. Let us go to the first page in the general ledger. It is for the cash account, and it shows a debit balance of 728,000 for the cash account as of December 31st. Copy the account code and name to the trial balance. Then insert the debit balance for the cash account in the debit column here in the trial balance. The same is done for all the account pages in the general ledger, and this is how the trial balance looks like, a summary of the accounts in the general ledger and their balances as of December 31st. Note that the assets accounts are listed first, then the liabilities, equities, revenues and finally the expenses accounts. Also note that the balances of the assets accounts and the expenses accounts are always debit balances, while the balances of liabilities, equities and revenues accounts are always credit balances, and that is always the case. So, if you find for example that an asset account like land account has got a credit balance, this means that there is an error for sure in this account, because we know that the increases in land account are recorded as debits, and decreases are recorded as credits as it is an asset account. So, a credit balance for land account means that more decreases were recorded in the land account than increases, which results in account showing a negative balance for land, which does not make sense. Let us continue with our trial balance preparation. Calculate the totals for the debit and the credit balances for all the accounts, and you will find that they are equal, and that is of course attributed to the double entry bookkeeping, which requires that whenever a debit is recorded, a credit should also be recorded in the same amount as we saw in previous videos. If these totals were not equal, this means that there is an error in our accounts that should be investigated and corrected. That error might be, for example, a journal entry that was recorded in the general journal with unequal debits and credits, or an entry that was recorded correctly in the general journal, but posted incorrectly to the general ledger, like for example posting the debit side of the entry without its credit side, or posting an entry with incorrect amounts for debits and credits. Also, an error might occur when preparing the trial balance itself, like for example, an account in the general ledger that was not taken to the trial balance. So, we can say that the trial balance is a check done to ensure the equality of debits and credits in the general ledger. Also, the trial balance is used in the preparation of the financial statements. Let us check that in the following lecture.